Hey, I'm Nikki and Michelle, and this is the Just in Life podcast.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Just in Life podcast. Of course, I'm Nikki and Michelle, and I'm excited about today's episode because if you know anything and been paying to Netflix a lot, you know that Love is Blind has had a lot of controversy. So I wanted to talk about, love after the altar today. So that's why I called up Iyanna McNeely.
Hello.
Say hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
And we're just going to talk it all out. I'm excited because the first time that I heard, let's just be clear. Even though like a lot of like Love is Blind cast members are in the city, doesn't mean that they're from that city.
I'm not from Chicago.
Right. So when I reached out, and I thought you were just here for an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So I initially reached out because you were doing your podcast over at the Wonder Museum.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I remember. I forgot this is how this all started.
That's how it all started.
Okay.
Yes. And so I reached out and I was going to interview you at the Wonder Museum, but like I guess our time and, like schedules weren't scheduling. And so I was like, sometimes, me, I can't take no for an answer.
It's a good quality to have.
I'm very tenacious. Like,
we love tenacity.
It's just like my tenaciousness is like, okay, if someone tells me no, I'm like, okay, I'm just not talking to the right person then.
But you weren't.
I weren't.
You wasn't. And look, and then you reached out to me directly.
I did. And so I reached out to Iyanna directly and I'm like, girl, I would love to talk to you. I would love to have you on my podcast. And because I looked into the podcast that you were working on and I'm like, oh my God, this totally aligns with my podcast. Like I want to have her on. And so can I just say that first of all, you were super friendly.
Oh, well, of course.
I just felt immediately, I'm like, she's going to be dope. Like,
but I could also tell that you were also very friendly because the way that we were emailing, it's like we already knew each other. It's like, girl.
Exactly.
It's like, what you want to eat?
Yeah, seriously. She's it's like she's family now. She came over before we even started the podcast. I'm just setting the scenario for you. We had sat down and talked, just like I'm all about making sure people come on here and it's a safe space and they're comfortable.
You do a very good job.
I try.
You do a very good job. I feel very at peace. I feel very, very comforted, very safe.
All the things.
All the things, the vibes.
Yes. And she's even learning things.
I'm learning a lot. First of all, they have these fancy, can I cuss on this podcast?
Of course.
They have these fancy ass cameras. And I'm like, they're saying like, I don't know what the settings. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. But I'm learning a lot. I am learning a lot. I'm a steward of life, okay?
She's learning. She's laughing. We've laughed. We've talked about, we've unpacked things like.
We've unpacked a lot.
Within this,
We've unpacked a lot.
Yes.
Marriage, parental relationships, siblings,
mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, uncles,
career.
All of it. Listen,
everything.
So it is so nice to have her here. Probably one of the best guests so far on the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
And
look, don't let the others hear that. They don't know.
Keep it on the low. But definitely want to unpack with you today.
Yeah.
Watching Love is Blind, it's like, I feel like there's always a story within the story. I feel like we don't get a lot. I honestly believe and wish that they can give more episodes. So
literally, because like, especially with a show like Love is Blind, it's not 24-hour filming. They're set filming. And so you have to make sure you get like the good content in between that time within filming. So you have to compact a lot of what they believe your relationship is into that set filming.
Really?
Which is why they would ask you questions about, okay, how are you guys doing? Like, what are your issues? Like, what are your struggles? And then they
condense it
and they film it.
Okay, so this just brings on another thing, because I did believe that there were cameras
all the time. No.
So it's not like Big Brother.
No, not like Big Brother at all. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of time when we weren't on camera, and there was a lot of just, we were getting to know each other a lot off of camera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Because I thought that sometimes they like pick and choose what they want to choose. And so is that kind of...
I guess they do to an extent. But what they show, at least I'll speak for us. What they showed was real. As much as I don't like to admit that, it was real. Those were our real issues. Those were our real struggles. Of course, there was more, but it was still real.
Really?
Yeah. It was still real.
Huh. It's interesting.
I will say, I think being in the career path of being a producer, I think they have to quickly read people and quickly read relationships, and then be able to say, like, okay, and predict, like seriously predict, like, okay, what's going to happen with this relationship? And then they like pull the content out of you. Yeah. Yeah.
So I find it not only that very interesting, but like, you like even waking up and like deciding to choose to find love in that way, a very unconventional. So like, take me to at that time, like where was your mind at?
How old was I? I think I was like 26 when I applied. This was literally in the beginning of quarantine. I had just moved to Chicago. And like a lot of people, I was drinking in the beginning. Okay. I was a little tipsy. Girl was a little tipsy. But at that point, I had been single for about 2 years.
Okay.
And I thought, okay. The application popped up all on Instagram, and I was like, okay, well, why not?
Right.
I just moved to Chicago, and I didn't know why I had moved to Chicago. And I always say it was because of the show. I feel like that's why I ended up there, because the timing was just like way too perfect. Honestly, with everything that's even thereafter, like the timing has been way too perfect. But yeah, I was just like, okay, well, why not apply? And then I was shocked. And when I say genuinely shocked, I was shocked when they called me back, because I was like, why me?
Right.
Out of like so many applications, like why did they choose me?
Right.
I have a theory on that. I think I was just like, because as you've seen, I'm a very transparent person.
Right.
And so I was very transparent in my questionnaire. So they probably saw like the trauma, and they're like, gold. We need that one. That one.
Sign her up.
Sign her up. We got her.
So do you feel like maybe, and I don't know, but like a little exploitive?
But we all know that.
Right.
We all know like reality TV to a degree is definitely exploitive. A lot of people watch reality TV for the sake of like just simply judging people. Granted, there's more to it. Like we like to analyze behavior. It's fun. But like some people take it too far. But nonetheless, like we all know it's pretty exploitive.
So do you think that like with you signing up, was that in line with your personality? Like people that knew you, where they were like, because I know for me, you come off like introvert, extrovert.
Yeah, I am. Well, now that you know, wait. Okay, I'm always curious about this. When people see me on the show, they usually have a perception of me, of course, because that's what you know. But then meeting me in person, I always ask, okay, has your perception changed? Is there, because it's like an experiment for me. It's like, okay,
so that's a good question. So I do think that on the show, you came off very naive.
Very naive, right? But I think I was.
Yeah, right.
I was very naive.
Yes. And there was some truth in my perception. And it's funny because before the podcast, I was telling you about how like I really read people. And I feel that I can read not only people, but energies. So even through a medium like TV or, Zoom or email or something, you get a sense of an energy. Yes. Right. So I saw naive. I saw vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
I saw also you needed some healing.
I wouldn't even say that.
Like maybe mental or like emotional or something. You seem very like you were dealing with some trauma that was not.
No.
So
that's where I always question people, because and to some degree I was very open, very vulnerable, very open on the show, and I kind of wish I had held back a little bit, just because I realized, like, without meaning to, people heard me talking about my trauma and then immediately, in a way, weaponized it against me to explain all of my behavior. But I'm okay, granted, that damn Watchbox scene, I shouldn't have acted like that. It really was not that big of a deal, but my intuition was telling me that, like, something was off about this man. And I didn't know how to express it or discuss it. But those insecurities came from him and his behavior.
Right.
It wasn't because of my trauma, even though, I mean, yeah, I'll be continuously healing all the time. But at that time, that insecurity was not because of the trauma. It was definitely because of his behavior.
Okay.
But at the time, I didn't know how to communicate as well as I do now, or even I didn't have an understanding completely about myself and my emotions and how to process my emotions. So I just knew I was feeling a gut intuition, but I didn't know where it was coming from.
Right.
And so when I expressed it, it just came out just like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you tripping over a watchbox?
Right.
Why are you tripping over a watchbox?
And I wouldn't necessarily, I can see where I was probably in the category of hearing your story and then applying like, okay, well, it's because she's not healed, or that past trauma of why she's reacting in this way or that way. So I can take accountability and say, yes, that was like my perception seeing it. But I did see a genuineness in you, like a really sweet, person that maybe in a weird way, and I'm please don't take
no, you're okay.
But like, since you're so vulnerable, and I feel like at the age that I'm at, I'm more jaded. I've been through a little bit more. Because
life will do that to you.
Yeah. I have a very jaded outlook on people, and like, my trust for people is very low. And I saw maybe when I did have it at that time, I saw that in you. And it kind of made me, because I'm an empath.
Yeah, me too.
I am an empath.
Me too.
So it made me kind of sad.
Because you knew.
Because I knew.
Because you knew.
I knew. And it made me angry at you.
Because you felt that.
Yes.
And you, trust me, I know. When I watched myself, I was like, now girl.
Right.
Now, girl,
sit down.
Sit your ass down.
Yes.
I feel it.
Yes.
I feel it.
So, and it's like, okay, but you're just watching a reality show. But people, like we spoke about before we got on here, like, have to realize that this is a person, a human that's having a human experience.
As I said, I'm living a very human experience, very abnormally,
right,
in front of people to watch. And it's funny because, like, even as of late, watching season 4, and I saw Jackie, and I was angry, but also I empathized, because I remember being like Jackie when I was in my much younger years. I remember being like that.
And I feel like if we're all honest, we've all have been there.
We've all been there.
Yes, we've all been there.
And it's so hard because you want to be like, girl, what are you doing? But at the same time, you're like, dang, but if someone had caught me on camera during that period of my time or my life.
Can I just say, this may be a little controversial, but you and Marshall would be a cute couple.
Oh my God. He has a girlfriend.
Oh, damn it.
He has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. Everybody trying to hook me up with this man.
Y'all would be so adorable together.
Not adorable.
He'd be like, y'all would be the Will and Jada.
Oh, look, I don't know if I want that comparison.
Stop.
I'm like, oh, wait.
Stop.
I don't know if I want that one now. Appearance-wise, I can see it because he does remind me kind of a little bit of Will Smith.
Yeah, that essence.
And then I am a little bit more like,
yeah,
hopefully not toxic, but like, pretty much. I feel it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But
no,
we have all been there.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I was upset. I'm like, girl, no, like the fuck, like
what you doing?
Why?
Another thing is that I love to remind people is like, I didn't see everything that y'all saw.
What? How?
I didn't see him, the reaction, the crying reaction. I didn't see his interactions with Mal. I didn't see even the conversation with Mal. I didn't see how his friends were speaking about him. I didn't see how his sister was speaking about. I didn't see any of that. All I had was what he was telling me. And yes, we had the issue of him going out. But he was just like, straight out of quarantine. I miss my friends. And I got that because I was the complete opposite. And straight out of quarantine. I don't want to leave the house. Like, we had, but I empathized. And it was explained away. But I was going to say no on the wedding day.
You were?
I was going to say no on the wedding day. I was definitely going to say no because he was out until 4 a.m. And I was like, even on our wedding day?
Right.
And then that's when I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. But then he showed up at my hotel room like an hour after it was like 5 a.m. in the morning that day on the wedding day. And he tells me like, I promise you this is not me. He was like, I've been working. And again, I don't know much about the club scene. Your girl don't be in the clubs. They're overstimulating for me.
No, seriously.
And so I don't know like what a club promoter does. I don't know like how they work. I was so naive. Again, naive. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, it's not going to be like this. And I was like, all right, well then I'll take a risk and I'll say yes.
But it's so weird. Not weird. I hate to use the word weird, but it feels weird. But like, why go on the show?
Who, me?
Not you.
Or him, if he wasn't. So this was another thing that I realized about the pods in retrospect. I'm always having revelations about this damn thing. But I realized that the environment increases the chances or possibility of like trauma bonding and love dumping and even a false sense of self, because I think he genuinely believed he knew himself and he presented himself in a specific way. And that's what I believed because that's all he presented me. And I don't have enough time. I mean, the show was filmed for what, like 6 to 8 months?
Right.
I mean, 6 to 8 months, 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of time. And then some of that time we were dating other people. I can't believe I thought that was normal. Like, what? It's like saying it out loud. What the fuck were you thinking? But yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to like see his actions. So all I had were his words. And I knew I was taking a risk. I was so anxious. I was throwing up every day.
Really?
Because I just knew like this decision was so heavy.
Right.
But then I was like, well, Iyanna, you came on the show. So either you're going to see it through or not. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
See it through. And when he explained himself and he said, this isn't me, again, I didn't have time to see his actions. So I said, okay, I'll take the risk.
And you did it.
And I took the risk.
She did it.
I did it. I said yes.
So like, okay, so you say yes. And I know they do like, love after the altar. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. But like, take me through, because technically 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, you're living with a stranger.
You don't know this person.
You don't know this person.
The crazy part is literally all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean me and my castmates. We genuinely believed we knew these people. We genuinely believe, because like you're in a bubble. and it feels so intense. No one will ever understand how intense the experience it is. It's wild how intense. And you're having so many deep conversations. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about a lot about like children and parenting and trauma and just like how we saw our lives and how we communicate. Like we were having those hard conversations. The issue is that he didn't know himself. Mm. And so he was presenting what he wanted to be. Mm. And that was the issue.
Yeah. So then you can get someone that, or even like they're in a sense of like either being narcissist, because a lot of times you don't get to look at yourself. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this earlier, mm-hmm. but you're so used to, if you're conscious.
Look,
I know I'm talking some third eye shit right now.
If you're conscious.
But if you're conscious, there's moments in your life where you are able to kind of look out mm-hmm. and replay. And it's like you're a viewer.
Yes.
Of your life.
Yes.
But there are times where people are living their lives never looking at themselves mm-hmm. and what they do. So there's no accountability. There will never be accountability.
I don't understand. It's like, how do you go that long? How do you go that long without, number one, confronting yourself? Well, but I guess in a way, because I remember what I was like before I started my healing journey, and I remember avoiding it because the beginning of it is confronting your own decisions, confronting what your behaviors and what you've done in the past, because unhealed and hurt people mm-hmm. and you have to confront that, and that comes with shame.
Yes.
And you have to feel that,
right? Because at the end of the day, and this is what I feel like, so as we were speaking, like we've all been the toxic girl at one time.
Because you're immature. You're growing.
You're growing.
You're learning. It's not an excuse.
No.
But it happens.
It happens, right? And you can even be what you feel is mature and mm-hmm. like it in a better, and you fall right back into it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's easy
because you can revert.
Yeah, well, you can
revert, especially when you're with someone who will pull it out of you,
right?
Because when they're toxic, you can only I can only put up with so much. I'm trying to live my life with integrity, okay? Mm-hmm. But like, don't push me there.
No, it's real. Yeah. For real. But then you have to, and that's the thing. It's like, I feel like eventually I hope that you make a conscious decision mm-hmm. to not be that way.
Yes.
Because you can control how you are and how you treat people.
Agreed. You can't control anyone else's behavior. All you can do is control yourself. So it's like either you're going to change or you're not, man.
Exactly.
Either you're going to change. It's like sink or swim, babe.
Right.
Sink or swim.
So when was the moment for you? Because I honestly feel with Love is Blind, and I've said this and I will die on this hill, mm-hmm. that they should have some type of relationship therapist there, or at least give you guys for a year free couples counseling.
So they do pay for counseling.
Oh, that's good.
They'll pay for counseling after. I can't remember how many sessions they'll pay for, but at least it got us started.
Okay.
Because at least you couldn't use that as an excuse. It's like, okay, but it's free. But it's free.
It's free.
Hello, you don't have to pay a dime. You just show up. So it got us in there. But they do pay for counseling after. But okay. I agree, they should have like how Married at First Sight has they have
a fake. I don't know. See. Why am I saying?
You said, "God damn it!" Hit my mouth. My mouth. God damn it.
Not me being too comfortable just saying all my thoughts.
See, we done got way too comfortable. But they have the spiritual advisor, the therapist, but is she a therapist? Oh no, that was the one before. She was a sex therapist, which I was very confused about.
We don't need to focus on that right now. We
need
to focus on the,
yes, ma'am.
on the mental.
Okay. But nonetheless, they really should have some form of a therapist on that show.
For sure.
We need help navigating.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. I mean, especially like age, bringing that dynamic into it.
Because a lot of people who do reality TV are in their early 20s.
You notice a pattern.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're like a hot mess.
Yeah, you are all
and lost.
And that's what I honestly feel like that's kind of, you know, the point of like really bringing on younger. You're gonna want to drink.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
You don't have.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Like you really don't know what you're gonna get.
It's serious.
It's a little concerned.
And people are too. It's not developed here yet.
We just talked about this. Like, not until you're at, what is it, like around 25, then your frontal lobe is developed.
This here.
But like people will be on there like 24, 25,
22.
20,
I've seen.
Oh, 22. If I was on TV at 22,
it's like
it would be so bad.
I think about like who I was at 22.
I was hot mess.
I was
I was ick.
I
would have
ick.
given myself the ick.
Yes, same. I was not
was
that
a hot
girl.
mess.
I was not that girl.
I really was. I was an asshole.
Yes, but and I think it takes experiences of you. Because I've been the cheater.
I have too. I was 19-ish, but
Yeah.
I have been the cheater.
I've been the cheater.
And then I've been cheated on.
And I've been cheated on. And what goes
Life
around
experience.
it comes around.
That karma will smack the shit out of you.
Listen.
That karma will smack the shit out. What you put out there, you will get back.
You will get back. You will get back.
It don't matter what religion, what you reap, you will sow.
It doesn't matter.
Like, it don't matter what it's the same.
It's the same. It really is. And so like just be careful how you treat people because and that's what my resolve is. You know, I've had, like I said, I've been cheated on. I do think about, well, when I've gone into relationships and I was like, oh my God, I got treated like shit, you know, cheated, beated, all the things.
Yeah.
But then I look about like, you know, some of the ugly things that I've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to say that that's justification.
But you realize you always have a choice in your own actions.
Yep.
Whether to receive mistreatment or to give it. It's a choice.
It really is.
No one likes to live with that. I don't even like to live with that, but it's a choice.
It really is. And it's a hard realization. And so, but I was able to make that mistake or those bumps and bruises in private and quiet.
Yeah.
How is that for you?
And then there's me. God damn it. But then I have to remember I signed up for this.
Yeah. No, but I know. But at the same time, like, yeah, you signed up for it. But
it's not normal,
I don't think you really thought about it.
I really
like
didn't. I mean, because I was young.
Because I mean, but
I didn't really think. I was like, okay.
We didn't skipped over the part about you, like you're introvert extrovert.
Oh yeah.
Because for me, it's like you have a shy personality. I'm shocked that you're on a reality show like
that. But I don't have a shy personality. I'm just so this is the thing. I was so heavily introverted then because this me that you see is not very shy.
No.
And
but
I wasn't
like
shy then.
This is because I feel like you're more when you're comfortable.
I'm more confident
in that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But even then, like I was still like this. To not maybe a little bit softer.
Okay.
As well, but like I was still this. The thing is I was uncomfortable with cameras.
Okay.
Very uncomfortable with cameras. I understood that I needed to protect my relationship to an extent. We took on the strong mindset of it's us against them. Literally, it's us against them.
That.
Yeah, but it blinded us. Well, I won't speak for him, but it blinded me. That's for sure. So I couldn't tell if I was protecting this man because I loved him or if I was protecting him because it's reality TV. Mm-hmm. But anyways, so there's that. But yeah, I'm not very shy.
No. Okay.
I am very introverted though. So I get drained.
Okay. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. I am confusing or intertwining
shy and introverted. Yeah.
Yes. And those are two
very different things. So my introvertedness comes in when if I am in a crowd of people is where it's harder for me to be myself because I'm just observing way too much and there's typically too much overstimulation.
Yeah.
And then I can't completely be myself unless I get to know that group later on and that even within that day then I become more myself. But the thing is I get more drained a lot quicker than extroverted people. And so then my tolerance for I'm ready to go home is a lot faster than theirs. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to go or that I won't like completely be myself. It's just like I'll probably be ready to go a lot sooner than you.
I feel that you just described it. I honestly, and people are like, why are you in this field? And I think about it and I'm like, well, why did you sign up? And I'm like, well, I'm in this very forward facing type
and you're
of,
still you're still introverted.
I'm still introverted.
There are introverted actors and actresses.
There is,
but even still they get in front of a camera and they perform.
Exactly. Yes.
Not that I was performing, but nonetheless, like, I am introverted. Yes, but I am not shy.
No, okay. Yes. Okay. So it goes the same for me, and I get it now. So shy was wrong terminology. Introverted is where I need to go, because I feel that 100%. When I tell you,
it's hard out here.
Even going to the grocery store can get heavy.
Do you know I order most of my groceries on like Amazon Prime? I mean, on Amazon Fresh or something, because I just like going to the grocery store is so much work.
When I tell you, I just luckily Clint, because
I just love that he compliments you so well. Anything you can do, you can do it. Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Because there are some days where I can't people. I can't do the
people be peopling, man.
They be peopling, and I'm like, I cannot be so my dream time to go to the grocery store is when nobody's there.
That's my dream time to go to anywhere.
Yeah.
The gym.
Yeah.
But that was also sucks, because the only time I can go then is like 5 a.m. in the morning or like 11 p.m. at night. Right. And I don't want to go then. That's why I don't work out now.
You don't need to work out.
I do though. I want to be healthy. I'm trying to get thick too.
Okay, in that instance, if you're trying to thickums up, we can swap, and I can just give you a little bit over here,
just a little bit,
because I'm trying to shed, especially, I had a health scare during the pandemic. Oh my God, yes, I had a pulmonary embolism. I had blood clots in my lungs.
Oh my, in your lung, and
yes, so. It came about, and I'm about to be super vulnerable, but I've already posted a YouTube and everything about it, because I was like in and out of the hospital for a while.
For how long?
So it came on in was it November of 2021?
Okay. Wow, that was actually smack dab in the middle of quarantine, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was so weird, because like we had both caught COVID. And I had like a little sore throat. It wasn't that, like, oh my God, right? But a little bit after, so not only on top of that did I catch a cold, but I was also taking Clomid, which is a hormone therapy, because we were going to try to like have a baby.
Okay. And that does a lot to your body. Hormones in general
does a lot
to your body.
So
a lot.
Definitely took my body through a lot of changes. Yeah. But they said that they felt that is what brought it on, because I didn't have, like, usually you'll get them in your legs first and then it'll go to your lungs.
Okay, so it was like abnormally.
Yeah.
And okay.
And I guess there was a lot of them, but I feel like as many as there were, I only did the hormone therapy like one time.
Just once?
One time.
Is that a side effect? Did you Google it?
It is.
Oh my God.
It is.
It's like you hear all these, like, this long list, you might die. And then you're just like, oh, okay.
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 It was so bad with my because I was really, I don't want to say aggressively, but I definitely was really like going hard at like the pregnancy thing and like going down that route, because
I mean, you had a goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of my friends, she was like, oh, she had some. And she was like, oh, I could give you some. And I was like, okay, bet, just ship it.
Man.
I know, because right. And she's like,
oh man, because you never think like you'll be the rare one to like have some form of a
exactly.
Health. Oh my God.
So then I had asked her for a couple times, like, oh girl, when are they coming? And she was like, I don't feel comfortable sending it to you.
Oh, wow.
She's like, just go to your OBGYN. Okay. She'll give you a prescription. And that's what happened. So now when I talk to her, she's like, I'm so glad I didn't give you that shit.
Oh, because that would have been on her conscience.
Yeah. Oh, she said, oh
she
my
would
God.
have felt that heavy.
She was like, I'm so glad I did not do that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, because at least now your doctor was aware of exactly what you were taking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad you... I mean, I was about to say, I'm glad you weren't by yourself, but you wouldn't have been taking it if you were by yourself. But nonetheless, like...
Yeah, no. So it was like one weekend, it felt like... because I remember a while ago, years ago, I had inflammation in my chest, in my lungs, and it was brought on by stress.
Oh, wow.
And that's why it's like, I be trying to tell people, like, don't stress, even though I don't always practice what I preach.
Right.
But I ended up having to be in the hospital overnight for that.
Okay.
So I thought it was just that. And one day I'm just like, feeling like I got a burp, or like, what do I do? Like, I'm drinking, trying to like subside the pain, because it was like, no matter what, I could cough, I can anything.
Would it just feel like something was stuck?
It felt like some like pinch, like someone just like, I don't know, like almost like stabbing you.
Oh.
It was just like imagine someone just pressing on your chest, like. Yeah. And I have a low tolerance for pain.
You said,
Yeah. So that weekend, like, I was like, I don't know. I'm concerned. Like, this is weird. And then not only that, I would go from the couch to the bathroom and my heart was like.
Just in that small distance of space? Oh my God.
And I couldn't even get up off the couch. Like, it was progressively getting worse.
Oh my God.
And so then I was reading and I'm like, what if I'm having like a mini stroke or a heart attack or something? I don't know. Like, right? I knew something was wrong when I couldn't walk from the couch to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And then I knew something was wrong when I was afraid to fall asleep.
Oh,
because I thought I was not going to wake up.
That's a crazy kind of fear.
Right?
That's a crazy.
Wake up in the middle of the night, she going to tell me that like we go to sleep.
He said, how you expect me to go back to sleep?
Yeah, Clint was like, okay, get the fuck up. We're going to the hospital. Because this is sickening now.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that was how I spent my, like, it was a little bit before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
That I went in and, I stayed overnight.
Wow.
But I had to take blood thinners for like I want to say 6 months to a year.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, it was a couple of months, but it was a long time. I mean, to go from like not having any health concerns to then
not taking medication to like
right. I don't know how we got on this topic.
Oh, how did we? We just downward spiraled. Look, do you have ADHD? Because I do.
I do.
I do.
I feel like I do.
I do. I do this in my head all the time.
I feel like I do. I don't know where the ending was.
I don't even know how we got here either.
I know. A lot has happened in between, but yeah.
Oh, we were talking about therapists and health concerns.
Yes. That's so funny. then.
It's so bad. You're going to have to do so much cutting.
It's concerning, guys, but we'll get through it.
It's okay.
Yes. So it's I'm thinking about what I don't know, but we'll go into like mental health.
Okay.
We'll go there.
Well, let's start somewhere.
Yeah, let's start somewhere. But it's shocking. You get into this house with this man you've only known 6 to 8 weeks.
I just met this man.
You have a therapist on site. Or not on site, but like you can be like, hey, I want to come and make an appointment and see.
Well,
you.
we didn't get into. So they just put it in the contract that you can request for them to pay for therapy, but we had to find our therapist ourselves, which I'm happy about because I would have rather go with someone that we prefer anyways than someone they just gave to us. And thankfully we have Ariel. Shout out to Ariel, she's still my therapist. But like we didn't start therapy until we were about 6 months in. Because that's when I was like, we need help. Help me. Help me. Like, we needed help. Because I realized about 2 months in, I think I made a mistake.
No way.
Because then that's when I've had the proper amount of time to get to know him and see who he is. And I was like,
in 2 months?
In like 2 months of our marriage.
So then, which we kind of delved into before the podcast. By the year, you knew, like the year after that they come and check on you and see how you're doing, you were like, we on thin ice.
We were on thin ice, man. We were on thin ice. But then I kept reminding myself, like, this isn't just a normal relationship. I took vows.
Right.
I am married to this man. I took vows, and I took that very seriously. I was like, I am a wife. I have a role to play. But that's also how I was raised. I know more about, and that's why I tell people all the time, because like don't take my black card, but there are quite a few movies that I haven't seen, because like I am in a subsect of black culture. I know more about black Christian culture than I know about like general black culture.
Oh, really?
Because that's what I was raised in.
Wow.
Up until I was like 18.
No, it's funny because I don't know if you know the influencer Kev on Stage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
saying,
love
him and his wife.
He's so funny. But he was saying how he doesn't know Anita Baker. He didn't know any Anita Baker songs.
I don't think I know it.
Exactly. Because
like,
you're
ask me about some Fred Hammond. Ask me about some Kirk Franklin. Well, I got you. Yolanda Adams, I got you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so even now, like, you're consuming maybe different music.
Oh, well, see, but the good thing is that I also had exposure, not a lot, but some exposure to just like what we would call it secular world, right. Because I would go to my grandma's house, and my biological side of the family, they're a hot mess. And so I was exposed to things I wasn't supposed to be exposed to. I was like 9 years old watching like Jason's Lyric or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like because they didn't have boundaries around stuff like that. They didn't care. And I would listen.
The naked scenes and all?
All of it. I remember staring at the screen like,
no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
So it's either overexposure or underexposure.
Right.
To just like the world or reality.
Right.
Yeah.
So how does that, like living in that like duality, because there's no like middle ground, right? It's either one extreme or the other. So how do you like navigate like what is the middle ground? So when you saw me on the show, that naivety came from somewhere. Like I was either extremely naive or hyper vigilant. I was never like the balance. I could never weigh my emotions with my logic. It was just so hard for me to do both. It wasn't until like life experience and finally like I'm hard-headed. I talked about this. Yeah. I'm hard-headed, and I got to experience things a couple of times because I wasn't allowed to make my own choices back then. And so it took a while for me to grow comfortable with making my own choices and with trusting my own choices. So it wasn't until life experience taught me like, okay, now I understand. Now I know. And that's why I kept saying like, I felt like I was always playing catch up to everybody else because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even have social media until I got to college. So I didn't know, like, what's going on here? Right. What's this world about?
I didn't grow up like a lot of people. I didn't grow up with a computer at home.
Wow.
Or Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
Yeah. I was like a sheltered little kid. Yes. But that's also why me and Jared connected.
Oh, he didn't have that?
He didn't have that either. He was a sheltered kid too.
Okay.
And that's how we trauma bonded.
Okay.
Trauma bonding.
Got it. Because I didn't know if you were speaking of the experience being trauma bonding or all just all of it.
All of it. Honestly, the experience being trauma bonding on top of like our lives. We were just trauma dumping on each other. And we immediately connected on that. And that's why you see a big difference between his relationship with me and his relationship with Mal. Because him and Mal, it was like, you know, more surface level stuff about business and like, you know, honestly stuff they should have been talking about. And then me, it was like we were talking about trauma, and because I was prompting those questions, and so it led the relationship into all of that, and we trauma bonded.
So do you think, is it possible to still have a successful relationship even though you both experience trauma?
Oh, for sure.
I think so.
I absolutely think so.
But
I think you can take a trauma bond and make it something else.
Okay.
For example, my friendship with Natalie, she's my best friend.
Okay.
I know for a fact that relationship started off as a trauma bond through the experience. But then we turn it into something else because we're both very compatible as friends, very growth mindset. And we were both willing to be authentic with each other and just kind of like, and honestly have hard conversations.
Right.
And take the criticism from each other and learn from that.
Right. So
But-
would you say that was the good thing about you going on that show? You've gained friends?
Oh my God. I actually, as traumatized as I am now, like, I think I gained so much from that show. And that's why I say it all the time, I don't regret a single thing. I was supposed to learn every single lesson that I did. Not only do I have the platform that I have now, granted, I didn't want this platform for a very long time. And I kept waiting for like any form of attention to go away. And I realized, oh no, my life is like, it's like changed from here forth. Like people will always be able to go back and see my face on a big streaming network like Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that was going to like change my life to stress. Like, what was I thinking? But like, I have this platform. I have my friends. I have my lessons through watching myself and analyzing myself, but also through my marriage. Mm-hmm. Like as much as I know I should have said no, looking in retrospect, I did say yes. And then I learned the lesson that I needed to learn to maintain and to receive all the healthy things that are in my life now.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that right now it's, you know, I don't want to say a touchy subject, but it is, you know, very fresh. It's such a fresh wound.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to delve too deep into this, but you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, because I'm a journalist.
Of course.
Don't mind me, guys.
Oh my God.
But there, I saw on Bossip, they posted that you revealed that Jared had cheated on you.
I did, yes.
But then I saw something really weird following that in regards to it had something to do with you holding hands with a man. And so let's just kind of delve a little in there, and then we're getting the fuck out of there. We're not gonna simmer in there. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna do none of that. We're just gonna go a little and then
get the fuck out
and then move on.
Okay. Yeah. So me and Jared have been divorced officially for what, 5 months? I hadn't even 6 months yet, but yeah, like 5 months. And in the 5 months, like as soon as I knew I wanted to divorce him, my mind immediately went into planning mode. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, they're going to blame you for all of this. And I say it all the time, the shushes and the jays of the world do not deserve that kind of bashing, because it's just not normal. And when I say shushes and jays, I mean the Shaynas, the Jackies, Jareds of the world. Like, they don't deserve that kind of bashing. I mean, granted, like, their behaviors are their behaviors, but nonetheless, that's not normal. And I wanted to protect him because I still felt some form of obligation toward him. Don't know why, but I still felt some.
You were married with this man.
Married.
I mean, whether people want to respect it or not, this is the reality. I mean, you live with someone, even if you're friends with someone for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
2 years is a long time.
And
2 years is 2 years. I mean, it's not like, okay, it's not 20, but it is some years for you to grow an attachment, to grow emotions.
A sense of loyalty.
Exactly.
Especially as his wife. I was just like, this is my role. Like, I've been protecting him this long. And I felt like I still had to, because I see the support he had, and he has support around him, but it's not healthy support. I mean, I knew I was the only one to like really truly hold him accountable, and he had no choice but to listen to me because I was his wife. And he had a lot of unhealed trauma. He had a lot of unhealthy ways of coping, and they were hurting other people, hurting me. And so of course I'm like, ouch. Can you change? Ouch, please? Because you knew what I expected before, and you chose to marry me. You said yes. You agreed to this. So I was expecting some form of change. But No, I saw 2 months in, like, this was a mistake because I got to know his character and I knew he was capable of cheating. I knew in my gut. I just knew in my gut. And I kept saying to my friends for months, like, I feel like I'm going to get a DM. I feel like I'm going to get something. And then it happened.
You got a DM?
Oh, I got an email. You didn't know this?
No.
I got an email.
You know what? I try to stay, when it comes to like scandal.
Neutral.
I do. Well, first I want to be neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that we were going to do this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to have any other like bias coming in. I did not read the articles. I only read headlines.
Okay.
And that I put that on everything.
Okay.
And some people are like, oh, you're not doing your research. No, I could have very well, but I also don't like to give energy to the negative. If that makes any sense.
But I like it though.
Like,
it's like, let's not focus on the trauma. Let's focus on the healing.
Let's focus on the healing.
Yeah.
Please.
That's me. Right?
Yes. So please tell me, you got an email.
I got an email. I received an email 3 days before after The Altar started filming. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
No.
Yeah. And so I only had 3 days to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Because we're going to be on camera again for people to analyze and for people to watch. I have to protect until I figure it out. And so I did. Anyways, I protected him even thereafter, after the divorce. And when I realized, like, no, I can't trust you, because there were some more gray area things in between then. Nothing like explicit, like it was that bad. But there were like just things that he was showing me that he was a little too willing to do as a married man. And I'm like, that's not appropriate. And it's making me uncomfortable. And we're having a conversation about it. I expect you to, like, clearly you don't want to stop. Clearly you don't want to respect our marriage or our union. And so I had to call it quits, but I still protected him because I didn't want him to get bashed. And I wanted him to get as much chance and possibility to grow. And I know that's difficult when there's so many people coming at you telling you what you need to do. So I said, okay, let me at least try to, like, protect him. So I did. But over these past couple of months, it's been hard for me to live with my decision, because not only has he lived off of the lie and he's gone on his podcast to say, like, she wasn't patient enough with me and she wasn't supportive enough, when in reality, like,
support you cheating. I don't know how that works out. What does that look like? Show me the way. I don't want to be part
Where's
of
the textbook for that?
Where's the text? Please.
Where's the tutorial
for
that? You know? So I just, like, I didn't like that. And then and why I really came to the point of, because if I didn't have my podcast, I would have suffered in silence. I would have been fine with that. But because I have my podcast that's literally dedicated to relationships, trauma, and healing, I could only tell them so much, and that was bothering me. So I started to realize it was at my expense, and he was benefiting from it. Right. And he didn't mind benefiting from it. And then stuff started to click. But then I felt like I still couldn't say anything, because I'm not going to lie, I went back for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Quick little second, because I started to forget. You know, you start to lose those details when you, like, detached a little bit.
Is it that, or did you feel like you just wanted to believe?
It's not even that, like, because I knew who he was. Okay, I'm not, okay, you need to be real honest. I just moved to Chicago. He's the only man that I've been with here in Chicago. And your girl's been single. And your girl was single, okay? And I was craving some intimacy, all right? You know? I needed a little like, don't you want to cuddle a little bit? You need to do a little bit more to cuddle.
Rub my back.
Yeah, you know, you just
I'm still mad at you.
I hate you, but I just want you to know, like, don't you want to, like...
Right. Yeah, no, I know. Comfortability.
Familiarity.
That too.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It was familiarity.
That too.
So I went
just
back.
Just being lazy and don't want to go in the dating pool.
It's like, dang, I got to start all the way over.
I tell Clint, oh, don't put me out here with these fucking sharks, man.
Because there are sharks out here.
I mean...
There are sharks out here.
I mean... Okay.
Especially in Chicago.
Yes, I'm like, please. Just please.
Please don't do me wrong. Just don't do me wrong.
No, like, for real.
For real. So I went back for a little bit, and that made me also feel like I have no right to say anything. I need to shut up. But then my friends were like, Iyanna, you were married to this man. give yourself some grace. And she said, you want to do this. Stop protecting him. It's not your responsibility anymore. She was like, even his healing isn't your responsibility. And I said, well, damn. Okay, bitch. And so
because he's his own person.
He's his own person. And he's going to be 34 this year.
Oh, okay. Right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Okay. It still doesn't click.
Age don't matter.
It doesn't.
Age does not matter sometimes.
It does not. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Look, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
It doesn't.
It's like I all of a sudden have this clarity. But then it also made it difficult because we worked at the same job. And he was right around the corner from me at all times. So I was having exposure to him.
But this is no more, right?
Oh, no. Once I quit that job, which was literally just a month ago, it's like something clicked in my brain because I didn't have I didn't have exposure to him. And then all of a sudden it's like something detached. Finally, something detached. And my eyes opened. And I was like,
third eye came.
That third eye beaming, man. I said, well, God damn it. It's real clear out here. And I saw everything all of a sudden. And then I started to have more revelations. And I was like, I'm ready to talk about this. And I told him that. I was like, I feel like I'm getting to a point where I want to talk about it. And I can't protect you anymore. He said, you don't have to protect me anymore. And I realize now, even then, that was manipulation.
How?
Because
I would have just been like...
Because he immediately goes, okay, well, then I'm going to talk about my experience. I said, talk about your experience. And then he brought up that situation that he brought up on the live.
Right.
And I said, okay, you talk about that.
Right.
You talk about that.
Right.
Because that's your experience.
But you know what I learned in...
that was bullshit.
Well, you know what I learned in therapy? Because I have this like situation where I always feel like I'm the bad guy. Or I get
because you're self-critical.
So much so.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Oh my God.
I can see my mistakes so clearly.
And so I always feel like no matter, even if I take all the necessary steps to do to within the situation as right as I think that they can be, I always feel like someone's going to try to point it out that I'm the bad guy. So I was just literally on Friday talking to my therapist about this, and she said, listen, there are times that's going to be that person's experience. And a lot of times when people don't want to take accountability,
they deflect. Or
they turn into a victim when they don't want to take accountability. And I mean, there's some instances where they truly are a victim,
yes.
But a lot of times, no. And so she's like, you can't control someone else's experience.
And that's why I said, you know what? If you want to talk about it, then you talk about that.
Right.
You talk about that. But when he didn't bring that situation up to me, because when it happened, yes, it was something that was hard for us to go through, but I mean, only a day's worth of hard, I guess, because he never brought it up again until I asked for a divorce. And then he's like, well, you did this, because he knew that it was his behavior that caused the dissolution of our marriage. And he didn't want to take on that by himself. And so he brought that up, which I was confused about. And I will continue to apologize for that situation because it was inappropriate. I got blackout drunk. I was around people that I believed at the time I could trust. And I ended up at a bar in a club with some random guy. But he had my location. I came to at the bar. And I was telling him where to pick me up. Granted, my texts were very illegible. But he had my location and he came to pick me up. Nothing happened. What, you think I'm in the club having sex?
So is the hand holding a lie?
I don't remember holding this man's hand. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I was. I don't know. Okay. I literally don't. But what I do remember is telling this man that I was married. And I remember like, yeah, I just got married. Showing him my wedding ring. And even when we were leaving, my dumb drunk ass said to Jared, because like when Jared walked up, the guy goes like, nah, bruh, she good. Yeah, she good, bruh. I remember that. She good, bruh. And I'm surprised Jared didn't punch him in the face then. Because Jared will fight somebody. And when we were leaving, I was like, aren't you... That's so sweet that guy like checked in on me. And Jared was like, are you serious? But that's how drunk I was.
You didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
Okay.
Which is so concerning.
Yeah.
But I don't drink like that. I don't drink like that. And I think that night, I didn't have the filter to say, Iyanna, this is where you stop. I got way too drunk. I mean, but it happens sometimes, it happens. But that doesn't happen to me often at all. This was literally a one-time incident. And that's what I was trying to tell Jared. Like, this isn't a pattern. This isn't a behavior for me. I'm really sorry that this happened. And I will continue to say that I'm sorry that this happened. But he had a pattern. He literally had a pattern. And he tried to compare the two, not just privately to me, but now publicly. Mm-hmm. The difference is that privately, I fell for it and I felt shame. But publicly, people saw right through that shit. And they said, excuse me?
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, like, I do think about that from time to time. Like, people on these shows, and we do it in life, right? You could be in a relationship with someone that everybody sees it. Everybody sees it.
Everybody else
sees
sees
damn
it.
The bullshitter.
Everybody else sees it.
Run, girl, run.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in this blind.
Love is blinding.
Blinding.
Love is blinding.
And you're like, just, no, he's not like that. You're making excuses.
He has good character. He's a good man.
He's a good man. Right.
Oh, that's crazy because I still say, I'm like, he's not a bad guy, guys. He's just very unhealed.
Yeah.
But then it's like at what point do you label someone toxic?
I know. So it's crazy because Clint and I had this discussion.
Really?
About toxic.
Really? Because I do
we
feel
were talking
like
about Jackie.
Oh wow.
Sorry.
Honestly, I mean, I think see, that's the thing. I don't like to over label things because I think people throw out the word toxic like it's nothing. I think everyone can have some toxic traits.
You're right.
Maybe small toxic behavior, but when it's like lifestyle, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah, you didn't turn this into a full-time job.
Like, what is this?
Like, guy, you toxic 9 to 5 and then some.
I do think though that toxicity comes from just like being completely unhealed.
So yeah, there's this thing that I have about toxic. Mm-hmm. Do you think a toxic person can get healed?
Yes.
You do?
Because I used to be toxic. That's what I mean. I used to be like Jackie. I used to be toxic, but it's because I didn't have self-awareness. It's because I had trauma, unhealed trauma. And I thought I was the shit. And so I was very arrogant.
So I do feel, part of me feels that she could be healed, right?
I think she can.
I was really careful as to not call her completely toxic.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's okay too. I think she is toxic.
Right. But I also feel like there's a difference between toxic and maybe like emotionally wounded or stunted. I feel like toxic is someone like, and maybe there's levels to toxic.
But that's a good point because at some point she did have awareness.
I feel like she did.
You saw that moment where, because when she was talking to, she was like, I'm crazy. I probably need some self-healing.
Exactly.
So you know what? I take it back. She ain't toxic. But I do think
she is like I use the comparison of like, and I think this was like episode 7 on our podcast or something. Me and Clint just were talking about it. But I feel like it's like a dent in a can, right?
Okay.
It's dented. It's hurt, right? But it can be like pushed out and
you can just
pop it back, get it all in alignment. But when someone is toxic, I feel
that they can't heal, or
I feel like it's like putting poison in that dent or that dented can. You're poisoning.
So it's in the substance of it, in the core of it, not just the outside, just the core of it.
In it. So just like if you put poison in this bottle of Gatorade, I can't drink that.
That's an interesting theory.
I can't. There's nothing I can do with that but throw it away.
That's not throwing it. Get that shit out of here.
Trash. I do. I feel like, well, what can I do with it? Like, I mean, it's poison. It's poison, but I do feel that like there's where people are on this spectrum, there probably is levels to toxicity, right?
For sure.
And I feel that you're in this area where you can be reformed.
Okay. And then like outside of that, you're like, But I think that's probably where space is held for like people who have legit diagnoses like narcissism.
There you go. There you go. Because there's some people that I see on a, large platform. Let's just say, I'm not going to give any names because I don't like to get political in here or none of that. But where I'm just like, I just see evil.
Yeah.
There's no reforming that. That is way gone. The soul is gone. You have no empathy, no compassion, no nothing. Like, you're just...
That's it.
That's it.
You're going to be like this forever.
Forever. But I do find it interesting because you spoke about you being a toxic person. Do you think at all in the course of the time that you did the show that, like, because when you've been a toxic person, it's very like you have to work on yourself.
You have to work a lot on yourself. It takes a lot of looking at yourself in the mirror, and that's so uncomfortable.
So,
because you feel I myself because Christian community, I learned a lot through shame. Growing up, the way consequences, shame. Even my feelings toward like any of my natural behaviors or natural feelings of things, like even liking boys, shame. Shame. Have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay, there's like a scene where this woman is, as punishment, she's walking down this paved road, or super long paved road with just crowds of people lined on each side of her, and she's walking naked as punishment, and they just go shame. And that's what I felt like. That was my inner voice.
So then how does one coming from a Christian background, like, did you feel shame when you got married and you did this like really in 6 weeks?
I felt shame when I wanted a divorce.
Yeah.
Because I realized pretty quickly I wanted one.
Right.
And I was like, I don't think these feelings are natural. Like, I'm giving up too soon. Like, I'm not supposed to be feeling this way about my husband. And instead of saying, well, there's a reason why you're not supposed to be feeling this way, instead I was like, I need to stick it out. This is a marriage.
Right.
This is a marriage. Not giving myself the grace and understanding. I married a stranger. I married him on a reality TV show. And I didn't know him.
Right. Right. So within that time, like even after now who you are today, what would you say are some differences or some ways that you've seen, like, I don't even know who that girl is. I don't.
I'm not naive anymore. Now I peep game, man. I understand and have I just have a lot more understanding when it comes to red flags, my personal red flags, and just general red flags, and manipulation. My eyes are wide open for that now, and things to look for, and for someone who has good character. I know what to look for now, and I am just a lot wiser. Maybe not the wisest I want to be yet, but like I am just a lot wiser in understanding that I have the power of choice.
Right.
And it's not about me proving myself to someone else. It's simply just trying to see if someone's a good fit for me. Like, is there compatibility here? Are we on the same page? Do you have good character? Are you a kind, compassionate, understanding, empathetic person? I was kind of looking for those things before. I just didn't know what they looked like in a person. So when he was telling me one thing and then doing something else, but that's the thing, like even behind the scenes, he would put his best foot forward because we didn't have that much time. He was able to do that. It wasn't until and that's why I say now I will never move that fast. Now I will now I'll at least date someone for about 3 to 4 months before I get a feel for that person before ever committing to anyone. Because I feel like around that mark is when either people start showing their ass or they're consistent with who they've showed you they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I would also agree with, like, making sure the person consistency is so key. Clint has been consistent since day one.
We love that. since 2018, baby.
Since 2018, baby. And so now I was like, wow, it made me open my eyes to realize, like, damn, why was I accepting a lot of bullshit?
Why the hell was I? Yeah.
Why would I do that to myself when I see how, like how you can really be treated the way you want to be treated?
I don't have that yet, but even still, I think now what I do have now is self-love. And so that's a different kind of love. I have self-love now, and I'm treating myself better. And I'm like, why the hell was I allowing someone to treat me like that?
Yes.
So it's been such a, and that's why I say, like, I don't regret a single thing.
Yeah.
I don't regret a single thing. I was supposed to learn the way that I'm hard-headed. I was supposed to learn the way that I did. And I don't regret it.
I think that everybody has a different way of finding whatever that is, finding themselves, finding love, finding a career, finding or your passion. It would look very boring if it all looked the same.
Yeah. If
we were all doing the same thing to find, right? And so I think that just out of that respect for you to even do the application, because I'm pretty sure it was very long.
It was a very long application.
I don't know how you even
the entire process was like a year long.
Yeah, no.
And I didn't find out if I was final cast until literally a month before.
Wow. Yes. So you had a month to get it all together.
Yes.
And, you filled out the application. You said, you know what? I'm going to find love. It may not be the conventional way.
I actually didn't think I was.
No, you didn't think you were going to?
I told my mom, I was like, I'm probably going to be back home in like 3 weeks.
Oh, but I mean, at least that you went out there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, but so you did ask this question if that's something that I would have characteristically did.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't shocked when I did it because I've done stuff like moved to a state twice where I didn't know anyone, 3 times where I didn't know anyone. I just do stuff. I just be doing stuff. I really just be out here I don't know. I just think about it for like a month. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
So it wasn't uncharacteristic of me. But I know when I did apply, I started to prep myself. I did prep. Thank God I at least prepped a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much that did for me now, but I did prep a little bit, and I was reading so many marriage books.
Really?
Yes. And I started taking a note of questions I wanted to ask as soon as I applied.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, I can't be going, this might be a marriage.
For real.
For real. But I told my mom, there's no way I'm going to find someone. It's probably going to be a bunch of white guys. That's what I said. And I was open to it, but I just felt like, I don't know, there might be some form of a disconnect. I feel like it would have taken a very specific white guy for me to end up with. And I just felt like they weren't going to have that. It's reality TV.
Well, I mean, did you see the first season?
I did. And see,
when
and I would have been just fine with a Cameron, but they didn't have a Cameron.
I know.
They didn't have a Cameron on ours.
Yeah, Cameron was a special breed.
He had a little swag.
He did have a little swag.
We like a little swag.
He had a little, sasson.
We like,
what I call Old Bay in there.
Come on, Old Bay.
Bay in there. So it definitely was a different, and that was the same thing too. It's funny, because I was telling you, I met Clint on Tinder, and so I put in my profile, I was like, look, I'm down for the swirl. So DMs are open. Doesn't matter.
I'll take the applications.
I will take the applications. I like to taste the rainbow. Give me the variety pack. I don't care. I like it. But that was because I came from a household that my mom was like, as long as my baby, they loving them.
Really?
As long as they treat you well.
I was raised in the South, man. Oh my God. Everything was a racial issue. I swear to God.
Oh my God. How was that growing up in the South? I've never grown up in the South. Clearly. I'm from Chicago. South suburbs.
Chicago city girl, It wasn't bad. The racism was definitely different. For sure different. A lot more explicitly different. Or just it's just a little bit more obvious. But sometimes it wasn't. Nonetheless, you grow up just understanding race and just hearing so much about race. Oh my God, I'm scared to even share. My biological side of the family, a lot of them aren't very educated, and so they read a lot of weird blogs. And my grandma my grandma would say things around me like white people are aliens, and she believed so many conspiracy theories and like but she would say shit like
We're
that.
laughing because Clint, I think, heard this.
she would make a lot of comments like that. And then even with my cousin Christian, my Christian cousin who raised me, she would everything was just about race. Like she'd be like, you know why they doing that? It's because they black. It's because they black. And so I grew up hearing that all the time.
Wait, so is because they're black, is this the
it's like some form of mistreatment. No. Oh no, I don't know my other side.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know my other side. All I know is I was basically raised as a black woman. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about.
I hope I didn't offend you.
No,
when
you're
I said
fine.
That.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. You're fine. Because I'm okay for everybody who knows, I'm half Mexican, half black.
Okay.
But I didn't meet my father until I was 18.
Okay, so see, I thought you were like white and black.
Oh no.
Okay, half Mexican,
half Mexican, half black.
That's my nephews.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We're a rare breed.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, but we are definitely a rare breed. I don't know that many black skins out there. You know?
I got my niece and both of my nephews. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, show me a picture. Do they look like me?
They so I would say Dom looks like you.
I feel like every other Blaxican I've met looks fairly similar to me, where their skin tone is just about mine. They have the curly hair. Because my hair isn't like this naturally. It's like curly as hell.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. I forgot what was for a second. Yeah, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
But yeah, so that's the stuff that I would hear growing up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a lot of like.
Just a lot. It's just everything had some form of a racial undertone.
But I feel like it's. I'm trying to really. Was there a lot of race talk? You know, was it loud? I know there's been a couple of instances where my grandmother talked about, because my grandmother knew how to speak. My grandfather was Panamanian, so then my grandfather knew how to speak. Spanish and English. And so I remember her saying that it was something, and they go, negrita. And I'm like, okay, but I'm a kid, like, I'm not, what are you talking about? Like, what's the problem here, And then I don't really think there was heavy conversation in my growing up regarding like colorism.
Okay. Oh, I was hyper aware of that because I was the only light-skinned person in my family.
Right.
And so I would get white girl all the time. So I know a lot of people experience racism from the other end. I experienced it from the other end. It's like my own family, goddammit. Damn. Goddamn. But yeah, I was hyper aware of the form of privilege that I had being a light-skinned girl, because my family would not let me forget it. And so navigating the world, that was always like a triple consciousness, I guess. Being black, being light-skinned, and being a woman. Yeah.
Was there ever any issue of like identity?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
It was so bad. Like, I didn't feel black enough for black people. I definitely wasn't Mexican enough for the Mexican. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I don't even understand it. I don't know anything about Mexican culture. But for some strange reason, I want a quinceañera and everything. I was like,
I want to go salsa dancing.
I want to go dance. I love Spanish music. I don't know what they be saying.
I think a lot of us love Spanish music and don't know what the hell they be saying.
We be like, oh, this my shit. Don't know. I'm mouthing the words.
Yeah,
no,
all of that.
Don't ask me to say it though.
No, I get it. No, because of course, I got a lot of like, being from the south suburbs, you talk light, and that was always really a weird statement for me to hear.
It's a weird statement.
Very weird. Because I just,
even that's racial, like racist to say a black person talks white because they enunciate.
That's why it's so.
But even among like black people saying that.
What are you saying about us?
It's like,
then?
Do you not realize you're projecting something that they projected on us? Like, what is it? So now I'm weird because I talk well? And I don't speak colloquial? What is happening? What is happening?
It sends me in a damn tailspin. I'm like, what does that mean?
It's like, it's not my fault, bro. What you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? My mom made sure, honestly, I well, specifically to my grandmother, but my mom was in a, no, we don't talk, like,
yeah. I got corrected
excuse
so
me?
much.
Yeah, oh my God.
But I was also a country ass little kid. I was country as hell, and my accent was so bad. It was so bad. If you hear me speak with my family, you'd be like, huh?
I would love to hear it.
What'd you say? I don't know if I can still do it anymore, because I know when I was in my younger years, as soon as I be around my family, I go right back, and I just country as hell. And then there's a difference between like country and then like Atlanta speak. Have you ever heard people from Atlanta? So my family was always like smack dab in the middle. I used to call it country ghetto, but I don't even know if that's offensive anymore. But nonetheless, that's what I used to call it. It was like a cross. But I used to get corrected so much because she said she knew the perception. Even see, and that's why I'm like, it's so multi-layered, because she knew the perception out in the world, if I did speak like that I would be judged. Right. And so she would correct me quite often. But then me speaking this way with my family, then I was also like judged. So it's just like it's so hard.
It makes my asshole itch.
It's a hard, weird, because it's like there's nothing wrong with like the way that we talk. There's nothing wrong the way that they talk. It's just like
it's just speaking. Please, y'all.
Why is it a big deal?
No, yeah, because that's what my mom. I mean, I love my mom. I love the upbringing that I've had, but there's been times where it's just like, please, it was something that she realized that I was too young to realize, but I knew that I was getting corrected for saying this. Yeah. So you automatically think, oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, so I mean, I was in the suburbs all my life, and then it being exposed to the city life, it's different, and it's a different interaction with people. And then I have family that lived in the city, and then I go around them, and they're like, "Why you talking like a white girl? Why you talking like a white girl? You talking like a white girl? Come here, little white girl. Leave me alone. Leave me the hell alone." But I could keep talking. Seriously, I could talk to Iyanna forever.
I'm about to say, we've been talking for hours.
We have been talking for hours, and I don't want to keep you any longer. Okay. But I do want to know. I do want to know, but I do want you to share your podcast so people can listen in. So talk a little bit about that. Yeah. The name of the podcast. Give them all the deets.
My baby. Yes. It's called Fill in the Blank. FEEL.
I love it.
Isn't it cute?
It's so cute. Whoever thought of that,
it wasn't me. Oh. I don't want to take the credit. It was Kayla. Kayla is a marketing genius. She's just like she just brings so much to the table.
I gotta come on y'all's podcast.
No, for real. No, for real.
Because we could sit and just
for real
do a unpacking.
No, for real. For real. But she just brings so much to the table. But yeah, Fill in the Blank. We say it's just two friends just trying to figure out life together. We don't say that we're experts of life, because we are not. We're both like in our 20s, just really figuring it out. But what we realized is we were having conversations like this all the time. So we were like, okay, well, why don't we allow other people to join the conversation? Because we found a few people like us, but like we didn't know where the full community of people who thought like us were. Well, we didn't know where there were. And so we did the podcast, and then we started to attract those people. And now we have our own little community, which I absolutely love because it's outside of the show. Like, sure, some fans were converted, but typically the people who loved me on the show liked me for a specific reason. And it's typically because it's like, oh, you feel so real. You feel so authentic. So like...
And you are.
What you see is what you get, man. What you see is what you get.
Definitely are. I'm telling you, I've reached out to like maybe one other cast member from, and I'm not going to say who. Okay. Because I'm going to just not come off like that. Okay. And they were kind of mean. Yeah. Kind of dismissive, a little cold. Okay. I feel like maybe, the fame.
Sometimes the fame can get to people's heads. Yeah. I will say that. But I didn't even want this. I didn't even want this shit. I didn't even want this shit, but now it's here. So I'm all right, let me do something with it. Right. And that's why I have my little baby, my podcast.
I love it. So how many times do you guys put out an episode?
Every Monday.
Every Monday.
So every Monday the audio goes out. Every Tuesday YouTube. If you want to see my dramatic ass expression, because I am a dramatic ass person, then by all means, watch the visuals.
So it's on Fill in the Blank YouTube?
Fill in the Blank YouTube. Fill in the Blank YouTube. We're on Instagram, on God, everything really. Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of it, really all of it. So just look up Fill in the Blank and you'll find us.
Has this been a therapeutic journey for you during the podcast?
Oh my God. The way that I process is through talking.
Gotcha.
Which I, according to TikTok, just learned yesterday is also a thing of ADHD. It's like a verbal processing. Yeah. I don't know. Look, I just be diagnosing myself.
Me too. I be like, Google. It'd be so wrong. So wrong. I got cancer. Like, girl.
No, literally. Sometimes I'm right though. And it's the times that I'm right that make me keep doing it.
Feeds it.
It's so bad. But just, you can find us on anything.
Yes, that is so awesome. I am so glad that you were able to stop by. We got to eat. We got to laugh. We got to talk. We got to unpack a little bit. I wish you so much success and the best. I know that you've been taking the route of influencer and owning your own and being an entrepreneur. That's not easy.
It's not.
I know it.
It's not.
First time.
And this is so new for me. It's definitely not easy.
So it's just interesting to see a life after such a big event. And what that looks like and how you're navigating and how you're keeping afloat and how you're keeping mentally and physically healthy.
Yeah. But I'll be talking about it on the podcast because, look, I don't know how I'm doing it either. But I'm figuring it out. People are like, Iyanna, like, how are you coping with it? Bitch, I don't know, but let's figure it out together.
Exactly. And I love that for you. I think that you're, a great person. And, we all go through heartbreak. We all go through ups and downs, hills and valleys, all the things. And you remain classy. You remain...
Thank you.
I really positive.
I really do try.
But my heart, when I saw you crying on TikTok in video,
I was so broken.
I was like, God damn it.
I was so broken then. Oh my God, I was so broken.
Yeah, so it's been a pleasure this day getting to know you. I feel like
thank you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and Clint. Yeah, both of you guys.
We try to make everybody feel like family.
Look, I do that.
So we can't let this be the last time. Even if we come back on here and just shoot the breeze and just talk about grown woman-ish adulting. Because
we all doing it.
Yes, and we're all doing it just in life together. That's all right. Thank you so much, Iyanna. And I want to thank all our lovely listeners for tuning in today. And we will catch you in the next episode.
Of course. Bye, guys.
Bye.